but basically to be consistent across all channels and to use them, as effectively as possible to reach your audience.
And multi-channel is important because you reach people in different ways. Not everybody goes to like TikTok, for example. Right. Not everybody reads all their emails, but a lot of people do. So if you're on multi-channels where people are finding your message in various ways, it helps reinforce what you're saying.
Welcome to Monday Mornings with Michelle, the new business podcast. Whether you're kicking off your day or kickstarting your business, Michelle is going to kick your ass into next week with the essential fours: strategy, systems, support, and state of mind. Now, welcome to center stage, Michelle Nedelec.
Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelec, and I'm super glad that you're here with us today because I am here with my most amazing guests. Yes, that's correct, people. I have guests today. So, ladies, why don't you introduce yourself, who you are, and just super short, what you love to do.
Okay, I'll go first. Sorry. My name is Lori Berson, and I'm a marketing creative strategist. I've had my own agency for, I hate to say it's over 25 years. Of course, I started as a child and been doing demand generation, generating strategies and all sorts of things for a myriad of clients in several different industries, consumer packaged goods, financial services, and health insurance, as well as history and entertainment. So that's what I do. And with my partner, who will introduce herself in a second, Evon Rosen, we wrote Ready-Made Marketing. So that's my end.
And I'm Evon Rosen. My career in marketing has been focused on business development. I've been helping companies and business professionals in financial and legal services, healthcare and real estate to develop and enhance their brands, grow market share, and increase profits. For 20 years, I held senior and executive level positions. In fact, my longest stint was with City National Bank, where I developed their brand positioning, the way up, which they're still using, I'm happy to say. And for the past 8 years or so, I've had my own consulting business and work with many small business and business professionals, and am an integral part now of Lori's team.
Very cool. So how did you, we got a little bit of how you got into the marketing, but how did you decide to come together in your businesses? Or in your business?
We've talked about that. It's been a few years, and actually we don't really remember what brought us together, but we started working together. And then we became friends, and then it just kind of grew from there. We kind of have the same backgrounds and a lot of the same strengths, but a lot of differences as well. So we mesh well together, and it's just kind of blossomed.
Oh, that's super fun. So do you find that you have a lot of things in common with each other now when you're going towards a project, or do you still have that the differences in being able to bring two sides to the party?
I think what's really nice is that we play off each other. Lori has a lot of strength in technology. I do not. My bandwidth is really centered around communications and writing and branding, and I think we just dovetail together nicely, and we have no egos. If we don't like something the other person says or we don't agree with it, we talk about it, which is great.
Yep, we're very upfront.
Nice.
and that's true with clients as well. Very upfront, straightforward, and but the partnership has worked out really well in both writing the book as well as working, with a number of different clients in different industries.
I love it. So when you're working together with a client, what does that look like? Do you guys all come to the table and kind of hash it out, or what do you do?
I think it depends on what's needed for the client, but typically we'll, work with the stakeholders at the client, create a brief, and from there determine, Evon and I will meet, we'll figure out what's needed, and just map it out, and each of us handles our different portions. And then I also bring in other people, other specialists, whether it's illustrators, photographers, videographers, programmers, to do the tactical part. But Evon and I definitely together do the strategic part, and we work really well doing that together.
We start every project from a strategic perspective. We want to understand what the goal is, what the client's trying to accomplish, and then develop a project to meet those goals. So we always come from a point of what do you need? What are your goals? What are you trying to do?
And of course, what is the budget? Because that's going to determine a lot too.
What? They have to have a budget?
I know. Ah,
And everybody, of course, has champagne taste and Coca-Cola budget, right?
absolutely. Yep.
Yay, we're
even
no
the
different.
large, even the large Fortune 500 companies that we work with, they too have, limited budgets on certain projects, and other ones, it's a little bit better. So yeah, across the board.
Well, I would think that nobody really has an unlimited budget. So,
Haven't found one yet. Yeah.
exactly. Even Amazon has their their
Right.
limitations. That's awesome. So, what do you find is the most fun in working together?
That's a great question. I think the ability, one, we think similarly in terms, when we are crafting the strategy and our complementary skills. The other part is, interjecting humor and, genuinely liking each other. That helps too. So it's fun just, batting ideas around, and also having them come to fruition and seeing the results for the clients. So when the clients are, thrilled with amazing results, that's also fun. So.
And marketing isn't black and white. It's creative. And Lori and I are both creative people. So you can come to things in marketing from a lot of different perspectives. And it's fun to work things out. I just find marketing in and of itself fun.
It is.
Nice. And you find that it's easier together as a team? I know personally, I find being creative alone as it's kind of a vacuum. But all of a sudden I get people in there and they're like, poof, poof, poof. And we start having ideas.
I
It's good to throw ideas off each other, bounce things around and talk about things and come to things from different perspectives. That makes it more fun, actually.
And I think it's because I've done a lot alone as well. But I think working as a team, it's a lot faster too. So in addition to being more fun, because you can get that, bouncing back and forth, and, things that maybe you hadn't thought of, the other partner will come up with. It's great.
Plus, you get to bitch and moan about your client. Hey, he's not
Right?
agreeing with you. He doesn't want to put the money out. He wants it in 2 minutes. I mean, you can't do that by yourself.
Well, exactly. And you got to be able to complain while working so that you can get it delivered in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Just help speed up the process all around. That was awesome. So we'll get more into kind of how you guys do what you do and your kind of profiles, if you will. But talk to me about what are some of the mistakes that you find either in the industry that are getting proliferated or that your clients tend to make before they come to you?
I have a couple. I think one of the mistakes, because I deal, like Evon mentioned, with a lot of technology and automation, and I think a lot of people think that the technology, with that, they don't need the creative end of it, and you actually need it more. So
I will vouch for that one, hands down.
So I know. So I think the creative is lacking a lot. And I think it's coming around again, where people are realizing, because so much of what's out there is kind of the same. And it's, we all do our automation and have, immediate emails go out and all sorts of, different omni-channel programs. But yeah, the creative part. And then the other mistake that I see is the unrealistic deadlines, and we'll do whatever we can to get it, as fast as possible. But certain things, the more time you have, obviously more time and more money, the better it's going to be. But, with time, we can do and get a lot more creative as well. So
the biggest mistake I see is that I think most people, virtually all of them, view marketing as a cost center. And it definitely is. You can't run it back to the bottom line that easily, but they don't understand the power of marketing, and they're not necessarily willing to put enough time or money or resources towards it. And marketing can be the impetus that makes or breaks a company. So I think people just need to look at it from a little bit of a change of perspective, and it can work really well for them.
Ooh, I have another one too. One of the other mistakes is not coordinating and getting the sales department involved early on. And I think that's super huge, because bottom line is we're about, getting more sales and getting more leads for the salespeople. So, and I've talked to a bunch of people recently about, measuring, marketing, which is very, very difficult in terms of attribution and all that. But, ultimately it's the revenue that's going to measure it. So I think pulling in sales, not only in the beginning, but all the way through, to work with us and do the best program with them involved.
Oh, absolutely. I can't tell you how many salespeople I've worked with, and sales and marketing seem to be ripped apart. And it's like, no, you guys need to work together. You need to work together. Because they're always
Yeah.
like, well, they make promises we can't keep. And I'm like, well, then tell them what the promises you will keep, because clearly you have some. So they've got to figure out how to word it and
Right.
express, what the value of working with this company is.
And a lot of times people don't see the difference between sales and marketing. They'll use the terms synonymously, and they're not.
Yeah,
So,
not even close. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
well, and I'm going to go back to your point, Lori, about when people think that the technology is going to run their marketing for them. And that one just kind of cracked me up and made me laugh, because I think there is a best practices of, we've done this and it converts the best. But if they've templated it so much that somebody's going and selling tomato soup and thinking, oh, okay, well, I can do this because they have a template for selling coaching. It's like, no, you
Right.
can't.
Right.
No, that's not
Right.
gonna work.
I mean, and you bring up a great point. Certain templates are great, for some of the basic stuff, and you can customize it. And we actually have some of those in the book. Other things cannot be templated and should not be. And also, as Evon mentioned earlier, that the strategy needs to be there too. And it's going to be a different strategy from the get-go. But no, Michelle, you bring up a great point.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk strategy, because that's one of my favorite topics. And when you're looking at a company, what are some of the aspects of a company that will affect their strategy?
Gosh, it typically, what is their goal? What's their objective? Who is their audience? Their competitors, what's going on in the marketplace in their industry. And of course, getting back to my favorite, budget, that, as well as, we look at, okay, what's the conversion timeline? Is it a product or service? It's a quick conversion? Is it a lengthy conversion, 6 months to 2 years? That kind of stuff. And bottom line, how I look at it too, is where can you get the most bang for the buck? And where can we, get the best return for them?
Absolutely.
It's all about figuring out what they're trying to do, what their goal is, who they're talking to, and what that message needs to be. Because marketing really is all about communication. It's giving the right message to the right people at the right time and calling for them to take action. So it's figuring out what a company needs to do short-term, long-term, and then writing a strategy and a plan for making that happen.
Nice. I love that, because I don't think a lot of people really consider that who their audience is going to affect that marketing. They think that, hey, because I sell this product, I'm going to sell this product to whomever will buy it. And they're not realizing that actually there's one person in particular, and that we need to start talking to them. So give me some of the kind of the things out of your book. What are you looking at working with people on, and what do you think they need to know first?
Well, we wrote the book basically out of COVID, because it was a horrible time when it first started.
Right.
The work environment changed. People started working remotely. There were no in-person meetings. People were quitting. A primary concern was financial. Cost cutting led to layoffs. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff going on. And Lori and I saw that, companies had either no internal marketing support, people were leaving, or they didn't have the budget to hire any external marketing expertise. So we wrote the book to help them get back from a place that nobody was used to. They needed to re-energize their businesses. They needed to jumpstart sales. And we wanted to make marketing accessible and just help them bounce back from COVID. People didn't want to spend money on marketing. They didn't know what to do. And this book just makes it easy for them to get going again.
Nice. Yes, it can be very elusive to a lot of people, especially if they don't tend to be creative.
Right, right, definitely. And mostly we wanted it to be just a quick reference book. So it's basically, it's not a novel where you kind of have to read through anything, but it's something where, you know what, I need to do an email and there's a blank page, I'm at a loss for words, I need something to get me jump started. So the book has, a bunch of different templates for that they can customize. So super simple reference book that they can just grab what they need when they need it.
Most marketing books concentrate on strategy or writing marketing plans. They're more passive. We wanted something that was action oriented, something that people could take and start using and doing it themselves. And that's exactly what the book is.
Nice. That sounds awesome. So was it written particularly for any industry, or is it applicable to B2B, B2C, retail, services?
It's applicable to really anybody. It's for small businesses, it's business professionals, independent consultants, in any business. We have templates, customizable templates in there for a variety of scenarios, and we write them from a variety of perspectives. So you just pick and choose what you want and customize it for you.
Right. And just to give you an example, we've got cold email outreach, we've got warm emails, follow-up email, templates, as well as re-engagement. And then we've also got video scripts. So if you, want to send a video, do video chat, whatever, we've got that. And then other tactics as well. How to get on a panel, podcast, webinars, all sorts of things that they can kind of self-manage, and just giving them instructions on, how to do it and some best practices.
Nice. You're giving the secret sauce away.
We are.
Yeah, so true.
I'm assuming that it'll still take time though. And then somebody gets good at it and they're like, okay, this is just way too time consuming. I'd rather pay you guys to do it. Pops in there.
Part of that, but also to go to the next level, they would come to us. So like you said, if they need help, and it shouldn't take that much time, especially the way we've kind of mapped it out for them. But if they get too busy with their primary, stuff, then, we're happy to step in. Or if, they want to go to the next level and do a larger, more multi-channel type of approach, we can do that. I mean, the other thing that makes it really great too, I have a couple clients who have used the book for the technology resources, because we've got over 400. And then we've designated the 2 top ones. So they're all vetted, and all of the technologies are either free or very low cost. And some great stuff like intent data that they can get for free, to see who's searching out there for possibly their products or services. So that it's really pretty comprehensive. But yeah, we're available to step in whenever they want or take them to the next level.
Very fun. So, well, you mentioned multi-channel marketing. 1, explain what that is to people that don't know. And 2, what is the importance of having cohesiveness in that?
I think it's really important to be consistent with your messaging and branding across all touch points. So multi-channel, whether it's email, text messaging, SMS, social media, video, streaming, television, radio, podcasts, webinars, anything. So there's new ones happening every day, new social, media platforms. Nowadays, of course, TikTok is super huge, but then there's a new one called Be Real. So there's so many different avenues to get the message out. And it's important, like Evon mentioned before, know your audience, because you need to know where your audience lives. So that's where you want to be. It's silly if your audience is not on TikTok and you're, promoting through TikTok. So that's super important. But basically, to be consistent across all channels and to use them, as effectively as possible to reach your audience.
And multi-channel is important because you reach people in different ways. Not everybody goes to like TikTok, for example.
Right.
Not everybody reads all their emails, but a lot of people do. So if you're on multi-channels where people are finding your message in various ways, it helps reinforce what you're saying.
Nice. Love that. So who would you say is your ideal client? Who do you absolutely love to work with?
Everybody, of course. No.
Yeah.
We have no favorite children except for
No,
the ones that are
they're all
favorites.
wonderful. It's funny for the clients that we work with. One of the reasons that we work with them is because we do like to work with them. We like them as people, and are there times where you don't love everybody all the time, but for the most part, they're all great people with great values, and they trust us implicitly, which is huge. And I don't know, hopefully that answered it, but
yeah, they value what we do. They understand what marketing can do for them, and they're putting their trust in us to help them do that. So that's the best.
Oh, and fortunately, we've had very long-term, relationships with these clients too. I'm trying to think of the most recent. I think one of them is maybe the most recent relationship is a 5-year-long relationship, but I've had some go back 10, 15, 20 years. Similarly with other service providers and vendors that I pull in, I've been working with them forever and ever. And it's a really nice group of people.
I was marketing director for one of my clients. I've been with them for years. They let me go. They had to lay off marketing, and then they brought me on as a consultant, and I've been working with them that way ever since. So it's all relationship based. It's great.
Right. And basically they can't get rid of us, right?
Bad pennies. We keep turning up.
Right.
That's awesome. So give us an example of one of your Cinderella stories of one of your clients.
Let's see, Yvonne, you want to take this one or?
Sure. My favorite Cinderella story is when I was working at City National, I was in charge of corporate development and advertising, and I helped develop their branding campaign, The Way Up. And it's the ladder, and they're still using it today. And we developed that like 20 years ago. So I'm super proud that that's still going. And that's just a sign that, brands get you where you need to go, and they help you solidify who you are. And I just love that they never changed that it's still working for them. So that's my really greatest Cinderella story.
That is awesome. And it exemplifies the importance of psychology and underlining meaning in good marketing.
Mhm.
Right? Because I think a lot of people don't understand the difference between, let me call it, low budget marketing and high budget marketing. And to me, it's like low budget marketing is, I just need a logo. I just need something. It could be an ink spot. I'm good. Okay. I can put that on my cards and move on. And to me, in the high end marketing, not to put you out of the market, but just to say that when you're working with somebody of the quality of these guys, you end up with that depth of knowledge that a word's not just a word, an image just isn't an image, that there's a lot more to it than that.
Yep.
Very true.
Very
and
fun.
we've developed a lot of logos and a lot of catchphrases for brands. So
I know. I always thought too, it'd be great to have a royalty schedule for for those things that, we've created like 20 years ago, 10 years ago. I have packaging out there for companies, and, obviously, we get paid on the initial thing, but you never think it's going to be out there for that long.
Right? Like how much could you get paid on a Nike swoosh?
Right.
well, athletes sure get paid.
All right. There you go. That was awesome. So what are some of the stumbling blocks that some of our listeners might be having right now? And they're thinking, oh my God, Lori and Evon, I need you guys so badly.
I think just being, maybe being stuck. There's a couple that I see with clients and potential clients. One is they really don't know where to put their dollars to get the most, the best results. And the other one is they just don't have the manpower to do it. They've got, a sales department. They've got, and this is kind of a small to medium business with maybe like 30 to 50 employees. They just don't have the internal bandwidth. And so that's when they'll typically call in us to help put together a program. And then it usually grows from there. So.
And marketing doesn't have to be expensive to work. There's many,
Right.
many things you can do on low budgets. So I don't think people should shy away because they don't think they have the money to do it. I think it's more important to do something than to do nothing.
Absolutely. So let's extrapolate on that one, because I think it is an important point that there are certain areas of marketing that are impactful, if you want to put it that way, when you go out. Like in the past, I've had a lot of people that will spend, $40,000 on a long email and go, wow. And then I've had other people spending 40 grand on their website and going, wow. It's like, then to me, I'm looking at it at the end result going, I get it sometimes, but in these particular cases, it just didn't make sense. That wasn't a valuable use of their money. So what are some of the things that they might be going through to say, hey, this is where this money should be spent, even if it's, $5,000 or whatever?
I think the easiest way for them to think about it is not to be the determinant of what marketing they do, but to talk to people like us to see what makes best use of whatever funds they have. I think that's where the marketing expertise comes in. You don't have to know exactly what you need to do. You just need to know what your goal is and let us help you get there.
Awesome. And do you find that people are leery of giving budgets, thinking, if I only have $500, you're not going to be able to do anything for me. Or if I have 40,000, you're just going to blow it on whatever.
I don't come across that too much. I
Nice.
mean, generally they'll come, and say, this is what we've got. What can you do with it? And we'll go, through and, strategize on that and then come, up with a plan. But, and many times they'll say, we just have a couple thousand or whatever. And again, like Evon said, the best, we'll help them put it in the best place. But, yeah, we don't.
And if you don't have a lot of money, that's why this book is so good, because it's really a DIY resource. You can take it and get started. As you get more and more successful and you need to go further, that's when you can bring us in. But as a starting point with not much budget, that's really why we wrote this book, to help them get off the ground.
Right. What was it? For less than a week's worth of Starbucks, you've got
Yeah.
our book with all these goodies in there. And
it's literally thousands of dollars of expertise,
right,
literally, for
many,
less
many
than the
years.
cost of a week's worth of Starbucks. So it's kind of hard not to see the value, truthfully.
Nice. I love it. So some things they might be going through is, one, if they've had a shift in their business and they just don't know where to start, what's most important when it comes to branding. If they have some branding and it seems to be kind of falling flat. And what I also heard was, if they're not differentiating between sales and marketing, that can have a huge impact on where they go.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool. So I know our listeners are going to want more from you. How do they start their journey with you?
I would say, first off, go to Amazon and look for Ready Made Marketing if they want the book. They can also reach us at bersondeanstevens.com. So that's one way. And they could email us.
We're both on LinkedIn.
Yeah, we're both on LinkedIn. It's Evon Rosen and Lori Berson on LinkedIn. So we're definitely there with any, if anybody has any questions or needs our services.
Very cool. And as always, peeps, we will always have those links in the show notes so that you have them there at the ready. And you can also go to awarenessstrategies.com/blog and do a search on marketing and ready-made marketing. And of course, Lori or Evon, and you will find them. Awesome. So I have to ask you, ladies, at what point in life did you know that you were the special kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
Too early.
Tell tales.
I was in, probably I was 21, in my 20s, really early on.
Yeah, Lori's always been an entrepreneur. I have not. I've always worked for companies, large and small. I've been a corporate girl. And then I just decided, the older I got and the more experienced I got, just to start my own thing. And that's what I've been doing ever since. So I came to it late.
Very fun. So any advice for our newbie entrepreneurs that are looking at this whole world with, awe and terror?
I think there's so many opportunities, and it's easier than ever, with the tools that are available, and it's much less barrier to entry. But bottom line, for any entrepreneur, you need to sell. You need to sell your services and get clients. So the good news is there's a lot more channels out there to do that, and a lot of help online. But yeah, it's a ton of opportunities.
And you, Evon, any advice for our peeps?
I think you just need to dive in and don't be afraid and just keep going. You know what you want to do. There are millions, as Lori said, there are many ways to get there, lots of resources. Just take advantage of everyone you know and everyone you don't know, and keep going. And look up books like Ready Made Marketing. It'll help.
Right.
Exactly. Love it. Awesome. Ladies, you have been absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it immensely. I know how valuable it is. Any last words for our peeps?
Not for me, other than thank you, Michelle. You've been amazing, and we've enjoyed it thoroughly.
And we hope we help some people. We hope we
Yes.
gave them some great ideas and make them want to move forward and succeed.
Love it. Well, thank you for being here with us. I appreciate it. Peeps, this is Michelle Nedelec. Thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to subscribe to the show. Join our Facebook group, Business Ownership Secrets to Scaling. We love to connect with you, and we love helping you grow. Thank you for listening to our show. I'm all about being a resource center for entrepreneurs to give them the information and the support that they need to make it in business. As such, the notes for this show can be found at our website at awarenessstrategies.com/blog. Be sure to subscribe, give us a rating. I like 5 stars personally, and share with your friends.